I thought I'd make a video on how YouTube has changed. And this might be a little bit of a long video. I don't know if you'd call it a rant, but it's what I've noticed. It's what's going on with YouTube. YouTube has turned into nothing but a facade. All social media has turned into lies. And that's the sad part. There is a very small percentage of real people on YouTube. You know, when you first started watching preppers on YouTube, you've seen them canning, you've seen them walking with their backpacks, you've seen them shooting, you've seen them trying to prepare and practice in their lives for in case of an emergency situation, like maybe a flood or an earthquake or something, which were great videos, highly educational. A lot of these preppers started changing. They started changing into news services as if they have a degree in news. Where now they just sat behind their desk giving the news, regurgitating whatever they read, and they apparently took off. You know, over 100,000 subscribers. I've seen some people say, well, I don't have the news. I don't have any form of TV, so I find it refreshing. Which never made sense to me in a statement, because you can go on Google or Yahoo or any search engine and subscribe to any news service, and you can get updates on news on a constant basis. It doesn't have to be from certain ones. Now, at the same time, I've seen our news station change. I remember back when my parents used to watch the news, and it was a big thing at 11 o'clock at night, and they'd always say the same thing. They'd always sit back and say, "Do you know where your children are?" And I'd always hear my mother say, "Yep, sitting right in front of me. I know where their asses are." Well, they would give the news. They wouldn't give a point of view. They wouldn't give their feelings. They would just tell you the news. There was no such thing as fact-checking or trolling or scams. I mean, it was a different time, I guess, in my parents' day. Well, now we've got, if you watch Fox News, that's everything about the right. They'll tell you everything about how Donald Trump is the greatest man in the world. And no man is the greatest man in the world, just to let you know. Of course, you can go watch, what is it, MSNBC or whatever. They're everything on the Democratic side. News is not news anymore. And then when you found somebody, you know, preppers got, well, other people got the idea too, where I give nothing but the facts. Where are they getting their facts? Did they get in a car and drive there? Hell no. They pulled it off the internet. They did a little bit of checking for a few seconds. Said, yep, that's the facts. Let's post that. And I've seen them get caught multiple times on how it was a facade and a lie. So that didn't work out. Then I seen preppers changing to fear porn, where they were posting everything on fear. Aliens are landing, the end of the world's coming, Russia's going to bomb us. Anything that was negative and that was going to destroy you. And people were like, oh, yep, I'm thinking about that. I'm going to get ready for that. You know, if they spent less time watching these people and more time prepping their backpack or practicing how to make a fire or how to do other things, they might find that a little bit more productive. But a new type of YouTuber, and I don't know if it's new, but it's new for me, has taken over. I started to see homeless people making videos. And I never thought anything of it. You know, I thought, heck, if I was homeless, that's a good thing to make videos. I mean, if you can make a little bit in that sense, you know, if you can make $200 a month or whatever, I mean, any little bit helps, right? And especially for eating. But I started watching a few of these homeless guys. And at first, they were legit homeless guys. Okay, but the part I didn't like is when I seen in a video, and he says, I get a lot of people asking me how long I've been homeless. And they'd say, well, I've been homeless about 10 years. And I'm like, WTF, what? 10 years? And then they'd sit back and then now, mind you, they're being honest, which is a good thing. But then they'd go on to say, yeah, my drug of choice is cocaine or my drug of choice is meth. And I've been addicted for as long as I can remember. I'd rather be homeless. They have chosen to be homeless. Okay, so now, if you're supporting him and donating money to him, you are literally helping him with his drug habit. If you're watching his videos, you're helping him with his drug habit, because if he's getting AdSense of, say, $200 a month, where do you think it's going? You're not helping the guy. By no means whatsoever. Maybe you're watching him because you're curious about how he lives. I don't see what the curiosity is. I mean, to me, it's pretty simple. You're either sleeping under a bridge in a tent or someplace, and that's it. It's a life that sucks, but I guess when they're high, it's not. Then a new breed of YouTuber took place. All of a sudden, you've seen these homeless women. And they were pretty girls. I mean, looked like they were 25, 30. But they weren't homeless. They acted like they were, and you would never know. Cat's trying to get my tea. But it was all a facade. It was fake, just like the news. They were pretending they were homeless. And you got a lot of them on YouTube now. Not just women, but men. And they are trying everything in their power to portray they're homeless. So they drive someplace, probably a local little bush area, and they get out of their truck, their car, or whatever, and the husband, if they got one, sets up. They all set up a camp. And they sit back, and now she puts on a big spiel for 15 minutes. It was rough today. I didn't eat. I had a hard time. I really didn't feel like climbing out of bed. I was so drained. I didn't have any effort. And this goes on. But if you look closely, their skin looks perfect. Their hair is perfectly clean. They got makeup on. And then if you start checking their channel, oh, they got 50,000 subs. They're getting 8,000 views a video. They've got people donating in the comment section. 200, 300, 400 is what they're doing. It's crazy, is what they have going on. And there's even a website you can go to check out their channel to see how much money they make a month. What is that called?
Social Blade.
That's what it's called. If you go to socialblade.com, you can put in a YouTuber's name and you can see how much they make a month. Now, they give an estimated average. They give you the lowest and the highest. So if you want to be safe, pick the middle. So, because I watch a lot of camping videos to get different ideas and to see different equipment, this one woman was suggested, she looked like she was 25. And I was like, damn, how could she be homeless? I mean, most pretty girls will be given a job pretty quick. Because men want to be their hero, right? Well, I looked at one or two of her videos, and she said she was living in her vehicle. And I can't give you names of these YouTubers because it's against the YouTube policy. So she made sure in her video to take certain shots. When she was climbing into the back seat, she made sure the video camera was sitting on the dash pointing at her ass. I wonder what she's trying to show. Then she went on in her description part, and I read that, and she said she'd been all over the world. She's been in all states. I mean, she's literally been traveling since she's been like 20 years old. So she has learned how to scam quite intensively. And the fools are falling for it. She had said her vehicle was acting up. It's not under warranty anymore, which means she brought a fairly new vehicle at some point. And she don't have a job. So I started checking the comment section. I seen a guy donate $500. Another guy $200. Donations were on and on and on. You know, and of course, she's got a beautiful thing underneath. Thank you so much for having a kind heart and donating to me. She didn't give a shit about that guy or his money. She liked his money, but she didn't care about him. From what I could tell, 98% of the people watching her were men. Which leads me into another section of, boy, you men are really stupid. You know, there's a term called simp, which I think the majority of you guys are now. I'm sorry to say it, but it seems like you are. And these are older men my age, 50, 60. Maybe they want to impress the girl with their money. The level of stupidity is something else. It really is. Well, I then decided, let's go look her up on Social Blade. She's averaging $1,500 a month. Not bad for not working, huh? And she only uploads a video once a week for 20 minutes. 20 minutes work once a week for $1,500 a month. Then I decided, I noticed she had a Patreon, and I decided to go check that out. She had a little over 1,500 people subscribing there, and the lowest one was $1, $5, and $10. And even if everybody paid the $1, she was generating another $1,500 a month off that. So literally, she's making $3K. Let's not forget about the men giving her money because they feel bad for her. And let's not forget about I seen the coffee mugs and the t-shirts and that she was selling. So if you had to average it, she's probably making $3 to $5 grand a month. But she's hurting. But she looks good. I mean, I could have swore she was 25, but later I noticed she was about 30. So she looks young for her age, which is a good thing. Who knows? Is she married? Who knows? You know, everything about YouTube is a facade anymore. It's not the truth. Could be some guy saying, hey, you're a good-looking chick. We could do this. And she's married. How do you know? Leave the house, go sit in a McDonald's parking lot and say, yeah, I'm homeless. Doing the best I can. Make sure we get the shot of her ass as she climbs in the back. Oh, let's make sure she wears a low-cut shirt so we can get some cleavage going on. It's ridiculous. Now, I don't really care about the people lying or scamming or playing this game. What I find amazing is how it's working on all these men. And I even seen some prepper names that I've seen before in their comment sections. And I was like, really? You really believe that? I mean, as a prepper or as somebody that prepares for a disaster, should you not be aware of the scammers, the crooks, and the games people are going to play? Because when shit hits the fan, nobody's going to be honest. You know, sure, you're going to have your marauders and your people that want to rob you, but you're going to have your scammers. You know, like that one movie where the black guy was blind and the girl was connected to a buggy. And she was acting like the damsel in distress so they could get him for his food and stuff. But one thing's for sure. It seems like the majority of the people want to help somebody. And it seems like the majority of the ones that are suckers, gypsies, are willing to take advantage of you. And my channel's small. And I wish I would get, 2 or 3 million views so you could educate more people on what's going on. But you can't. It's impossible. Now, you'd think with social media, it's gotten, better because we can see more of what's going on and people can write comments and, somebody can write a comment about something. We can say, hey, I never thought of that, and get this collaboration going. But that's not even true anymore because you'll see a news service on something, for example, and the same news service will pick up that news and you'll have 200 of them reporting the same thing. That's what you got. You would literally have to watch every single one and check every single comment just to find out what's going on. And even when people say, well, make sure you fact checked, who the hell's got time to fact check? By the time you run around doing this fact checking, you'll be online for 6 hours. It's ridiculous. I myself don't even watch the news. I really don't. I'm like, what's the point? It's all a lie. I'll scan through Facebook very quickly. I'm sure something horrible happens, like we had an explosion here in Tennessee not too far away. I'll hear about it. But I'm not going to scrutinize over it and worry about it so much. But it's very, very hard to find honest and legit people you can learn from. It really is. I tend to, when YouTube suggests something to me, like a camping video, there was recently a YouTube suggested to me, and the guy's like 67 years old. I put him in my post section. He's got like, I don't know what it was, 80 subs? Something like that. I know that guy's legit. Says he's been online 2 years. He does camping videos. Goes out with his grandkids once in a while. I mean, can't get any wholesome there. He'll probably be dead in 5 years because the average male dies by the time he's 70, right? But people don't want to watch that. They don't want to learn something from a camping video. Now, if you see a camping video on a young man, there was one guy I watched, and he knows quite a bit for being 26 years old. But he's only got 800 subs. That's it. And they're really good. He even does a lot of editing. His production's pretty amazing. He does a really good job. But he's male, not the same. So what does that say? You know, how can a young girl end up with 40,000 subs, over $5,000 a month, all because she shows a little cleavage or because she makes sure to take a shot of her ass? You know, us men, I'm sad to say, must be the stupidest animal on the planet. Because I'm just looking at, and it doesn't matter their age. And I'm just looking at it, I'm thinking like, why can't you guys get some brains? You know, I was once told by a girl in my town, she was a skinny girl, and she has 8 kids. And I asked her straight up, I says, well, being you got 8 kids, is it hard to meet a guy? She says, oh my God, I got to beat him off with a stick. I said, are you kidding me? These guys want to take on 8 kids? Oh, they don't care. They don't care. As long as you're a skinny girl, they'll do anything for you. She says, I need a ride. I just got to post on Facebook, I need a ride. I'll have 40 guys saying, I'll give you a ride. Because they're all hoping to get something. She says, it's ridiculous how much a woman can control these men. But having 8 kids or no kids hasn't been a difference for me whatsoever. I was like, damn. Not me. It's not my style. But maybe it's the uneducated men. Maybe it's the men that aren't really men. I truly don't know the answer. I really don't. I do know that just like voting in my town, when I vote for my sheriff or my mayor, those votes matter. I'm not sure if it matters when I vote for a president, though. I'm really not sure about that. But I know when I watch a video or when I subscribe to somebody, that is literally a vote. So if I'm voting, if I'm watching someone that's homeless and that has wanted to be homeless for 10 years and loves to do his drugs, then I am contributing to his cause. I don't do that. But obviously, the rest of the people out there are. Watching a video is the same as voting. Writing a comment is the same as voting. People will notice when I watch a video, I'll try to leave a peace sign or I'll type a little sentence. I'll give it a thumbs up and then I'll move on. This helps with the YouTube algorithm. And I want to support those people. I want to do that. You know, some people have really great gear they've spent a lot of money on. Some people don't have such great gear. I don't care about the gear. I care about that they did their best, they put themselves out there, and maybe they do need a few bucks. And maybe they're hoping to get, $100, $200 of AdSense. Not everybody's trying to become a millionaire, especially today, the way the groceries are. But, if that person gets a couple $100 a month, I want to bully for him. I want to tap him on the back and say, good job. Keep up the good work. But some whore, some liar, the games, no, I don't want to support that. And I couldn't believe it. This girl knew how to work the game, and 1,600 people were subscribed to give her money. It's just sad. The whole thing is sad. And literally, it took me a whole 10 minutes to check it out. You can go to socialblade.com. You should have that as a hotkey if you're on YouTube. You should copy that name, put it in there, and look up what they're making. You see anybody pulling in $1,000, there's something going on. And they like that money. So that's it. There's a lot of preppers out there that use fear porn, and I can't even give you their names. It's against the TOS, and I'm sure you all know. But I'm sure some will type in my comment section what their names are. But the thing is, these people that type their names in are probably the ones subscribed to them. And they'll make up 1,000 excuses for it. But that's something else. But this video is going on 20 minutes. Keep your eyes open, guys. Really. I look for the smaller channels. And this way, if they do start to get bigger, at least I know they're real and they're honest. Oh, another thing, on a keynote before I go, AI's taken over. And now you've got people making AI videos and where they just talk in the background. Or the AI's even talking. You don't even know who's ever making it's making it. YouTube had to add to their TOS that if anybody makes a video with AI, not thumbnails, because I did play with that a little bit, the actual video, where it's not a real person, they took away their AdSense. Because apparently for the last year, that's been on the go. Because think about it, if you subscribe to a couple AI websites, and now you set up clocks, you can set that up to generate videos on the fly and upload it to YouTube. So that's a big thing. But a lot to consider. If you're going to vote or support for someone that is hurting for money or someone that's doing their best, that's a whole new story. But if you're supporting and watching and commenting the scammers, you're a sad person. You really are. And if you're subscribed to any woman because you think she's showing cleavage or because she's showing her butt and you're thinking, oh my God, I might meet her someday. I don't think you're going to meet her. Oh, I even seen this one where this girl is a lesbian and she has a lot of subs. And the majority are men. I guess all these guys believe they're going to turn her and make her straight. And they give her money. And they write all these comments. I'm just like, what the hell? It is something. All right, I'll catch you guys on the next one.